Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Trey, and I thought I'd make myself, at least for my own enjoyment, I thought I'd make myself a CoD 2020, like Black Ops 5, whatever it's gonna be called, wish list as to what I want to see from Treyarch this year. Because if you didn't know already, it was supposed to be actually, it was gonna be Raven leading development on a new Call of Duty this year, and due to I guess something that happened on their end of the studio. We aren't getting that Sledgehammer Call of Duty this year, and then Treyarch to take over while being backed by Raven and Sledgehammer Games. So at least they're not making a game um, basically from scratch in less than a year and a half. Which is why Black Ops 4's content seems kind of lackluster, yada yada, all that. But that being said, I thought I'd make a little wish list. So that's things I want to see from at least multiplayer and zombies campaign. I mean, I'm gonna play it just for the sake of videos, or for the sake of a series. But other than that, I'm probably not gonna do much. I'm gonna be focusing on zombies and multiplayer mostly. And I doubt there'd be a third mode, but if there is, if there's a fourth mode like battle royale or whatever, doesn't really matter. Don't care. Last good battle royale to me, at least. The only good battle royale I play still is Apex, so it doesn't really matter if I want a battle royale. I'll play Apex. So anyway, I'm going to get a little off topic. I thought I'd start off with the mode I put the least amount of time into, at least in terms of focus, and that is going to be multiplayer. I'm going to at least try and do 3 to 5 things that I'd like to see, and I'm obviously going to go into a little bit of details, hopefully. I can at least get 3 to 5 things for each particular mode. The first thing, this is more or less just kind of a me thing. I just want the gameplay to not stray too far from what Treyarch is normally puts out. I want it to feel kind of like either Black Ops 3 or Black Ops 4 in terms of gunplay, in terms of how the guns feel, in terms of how the guns react, stuff like that. Um, I want to see more emphasis on more not necessarily more emphasis, but this I want there to be fun stuff to add into the gameplay. So like obviously not necessarily think idea of specialists, but like well, actually I wouldn't mind specialists as long as they're not stupid. Because to me specialists don't matter. To me, I've never been one against specialists or never been one for them. It's just as long as they aren't relatively broken to the point where it's basically unplayable and there's no reason to play anything else, kind of thing. Which so far, other than Infinite Warfare, that's not been the case. There's no, at least with Treyarch, they haven't had something that stands out as you need to play this one or else you're garbage or something like that. Everyone can do well with their own specialist. That's my whole idea behind it. If you can find a specialist you're good at, stick with it. If you can't, then just rotate whichever one and just learn. But it's mostly I just want to have the game feel fun and not feel dry and bland, kind of like World War II did at launch. World War II, it has had nothing to it. It just felt so dead. Felt so like slow, sluggish, and clunky. Now it doesn't feel nearly as bad. It still has that weird clunkiness to it, but it still at least runs smoothly and doesn't feel odd. It feels good to play, essentially. Um, the second thing I'd like to at least list is I want there to be a good variety of new maps as well as remake maps, not remastered. So I don't want to see a copy paste of like Nuketown or something like that. I want to see a map that's been reimagined in a new style that's somewhat updated graphics kind of thing, but not like full copy paste, like taking firing range, putting in a new engine, new game, everything like that. I don't want that. I want remade. So like for example, Standoff to Outlaw in Black Ops 2 to Black Ops 3, or firing range to Studio in Black Ops 1 to Black Ops 2. I basically just want to see new designs, even if they are old maps. I'd like to see that more than anything. I don't see new maps I'd prefer, but with three teams, I can imagine we can get some decently good maps. And then here comes the big thing that is going to get me, at least in terms of backlash, a lot of trouble. I want to see a or I want to see a microtransaction system that awards you for grinding and doesn't award you for just basically nothing. That's my main gripe with Modern Warfare right now, is that once you hit the max level in the Battle Pass, you're basically done. Once you hit level 155, you're basically done. I want something to continually grind for that isn't necessarily like, obviously I want challenges. Obviously I'd like missions and challenges. That sort of gives you something to do for Modern Warfare, because the instead to do stuff. But if I can, for example, I've said this in my Modern Warfare 2 or Modern Warfare 2, no, the Modern Warfare 2019 shop rant is, if they have shop items that are extremely overpriced and or just not even worth buying, put in a system that will allow you to either get you credits to just directly buy the item itself, that doesn't deter away from like your battle pass or whatever, just like in-game credits, kind of like crypto keys or salvage or weapon parts, whatever the hell, just armory credits, just that kind of thing, something that you can use to buy shop items. Or alternatively, do the same thing, but instead of just buying anything outright, if you want to have fun and sort of keep the, as much as the whole gambling loot boxes or gambling thing is a bullshit excuse to like sort of not have loot boxes in the game, to me it gave me something to do. Yeah, if as long as they're done poorly, it can be kind of annoying. But look at Infinite Warfare, Modern Warfare Remastered, and World War II. They're arguably the best supply drop system in Call of Duty. If they give us a rewarding supply drop system that either A, just gives us shop items, and obviously once you get all the shop items, it just gives you credits, or it just won't give you stuff anymore anyway, so that way you can just stockpile your credits and just buy them that way. That's something I'd like. So I want to see supply drops as unfairly as Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4? No. Would I like to at least see something like them come back? Yes, because at least it makes the system, makes it more fair to grind for something. That's my whole thing, is I want to be able to grind for something and not feel like I'm wasting my time. That's my main issue right now with Modern Warfare. I feel like I'm wasting my time grinding Battle Pass, grinding levels, grinding. The only thing I don't feel like I'm wasting time is I'm grinding for Damascus. Just to say, hey, I got it. Whoop-de-doo. And then we go on to, I guess I'll at least say one more thing. It's more of a minor thing, but it's not really huge. And that is, I want prestiges back. I don't care how many we get. I don't care if there's level 1000. I don't care what anything else. I just want prestiges. I don't want to hit level 155 and then be basically stuck doing nothing, wasting XP. Hell, even if you're gonna not do prestiges, at least make the level cap really, really high and make it like in almost not borderline impossible, but make it relatively hard to earn. Like hard to earn day one. Like you don't see. Not saying people do, but it's not like you see level 55s running around on day one of a Call of Duty or 155. But make the level high enough to where it will take at least a month to get there, unless you're a no-lifer and you have people like doing the whole one account, 5 people thing. But something achievable, but is still worth grinding for, if that makes sense. So, like, for example, day one, the max level could be 250, or 300, or hell, even 500. And you unlock everything from 1 to 50, and then after that you have 450 levels of just grinding out whatever. And obviously, that's more or less just reward stuff, and it does office challenges. Because office challenges, I found those kind of fun, as long as they aren't annoyingly bullshit. Those are fun. I enjoyed doing season 3s, or season 2s. So, do something like that. And as we transition into the next game, I'd like to talk about zombies. Because as you could probably tell, it's multiple CODs, because I got annoyed at Black Ops 3 very quickly. So I switched to a different Call of Duty game. Let's speak on zombies, the mode I probably love Call of Duty for the most. I just want it to be fun. I don't want it to be World War II, where it's just like there's no replay value, because World War II, it's like you did the Easter egg and then you're done, because obviously the game ends most of the time. But with Black Ops 4, at least it felt like you didn't have to do the Easter egg. I could easily just go play 9 or play Voyage or play Ancient Evil or play any of the maps and not feel forced to do an Easter egg. Black Ops 3 kind of suffered from that a little bit. Like, you didn't have to, but it's like it kind of pushes you in the right direction. It's like, hey, the Easter egg's over this way. Like, go on, go do it, kind of thing. But Black Ops 4 is definitely not like that. At least to me, it didn't. And it's not too complicated, and it's not... Hell, Black Ops 4 is probably the easiest Call of Duty we've gotten in at least a while, at least in my opinion. Because Black Ops 3... I'd say Black Ops 3 was way too easy. But Black Ops 2 is probably hardest... Or Black Ops 1's probably second hardest. World at War is the hardest, and Black Ops 2 is middle ground. Tied with Black Ops 3. The only difference is obviously Black Ops 3 and 2, it's 3 hit to 2 hit, but that's the only really thing that makes Black Ops 2 difficult, is that it's 2 hit instead of 3. Speaking of which, I'd like to see 3 hit and then jug. As much as I was kind of an advocate for new stuff, I've always said if it isn't broke, don't fix it. But I want innovation in that same token. Which, a big idea I've always had was have 2 sets of perks that are always... Like, have a set of perks that are you choose that no matter what are always there, and they're not, let's say, perks, they're like mods that help you out in your game, and you basically have to get them and unlock them through progression. And then you have map-based perks that are like Juggernaut, Speed Cola, Double Tap, Stamina, stuff like that. But then you have perks like PhD that's like you can obviously go get, but it's something you equip and you have to swap it out. That way you don't have to adjust your playstyle at all. It's just if you have it on, you don't have to worry about it. And even if they're going to bring the old perks back, like if they're going to go back to the old perks, it's to make it 5 perks. Kind of going on that same token, just make it 5 perks. That way it gives people a little bit more breathing room with picking out perks. That way you're not forced to buy anything. And then another thing, also to stay on the same topic of perks, just bring self revives as a thing instead of quick revive. That way people aren't forced to buy quick revive. That way you just have self revives out the rip, and then you can put quick revive as like an actual just reviving mod. I would say you get faster health regen and you revive people quicker as a mod. Kind of like World War II. That's one thing I did like about World War II. Is you had perks, you had mods, and they each kind of intertwined, and they weren't all with one thing. I need to breathe because I'm talking too fast. Next thing, and these are more or less just me things, and not necessarily required. I just like them if they did it. Make the camo grind at least more of a, not tedious, but make it more fun than what Black Ops 4's was. Because if I have to use a shitty starting pistol like the Welling, don't make it based off headshots. Make it just based off kills. Obviously, some they need to be headshots, some they don't. But like for weapons that are really, really weak, at least balance them lower so that they aren't 2,400 headshots with a pistol that barely even can kill one zombie with a headshot. Anyway, and obviously on that same token, make the camos in zombies unique to zombies, rather than just be a recolor for multiplayer, which, to be fair, that wasn't necessarily the plan. That was more of a last-minute thing. And even then, the red hex is still a zombies thing, which I enjoy, and I love that to be not necessarily the final camo, but a mastery camo, like they did with Black Ops 4. And I think is anything else I want to touch on about camos? Oh, another major thing about camos is make them fun to grind for, but also still rewarding to get. Like, give me a challenge to grind for them, but don't make them super difficult to grind for. Like, make the reward a unique reward for zombies, and if you manage to get, like, let's say you manage to get the max camo in both multiplayer and zombies, you get a third camo to sort of show, hey, I'm a completionist kind of thing. And if they have a fourth mode like blackout or whatever the hell, then do it again in there. Add a camo to do all three. Or even a calling card. Hell, do a calling card for if you get dark matter in all three modes or something. That'd be kind of interesting to see. Let's see, what else for zombies? Oh, another major thing. Don't do ether. As much as people love the Aether story, and as much as I love the Aether story, I'm sick of it. Do something new. Either do something new or go back to Chaos. I am so sick of the Aether story. It's actually annoying how much I really don't want to see more Aether. Yes, it's iconic, and yes, it's like the state CoD zombie staple, but at the same time, I've lost track of where the story even is anymore. I just want to see new stuff. Because with the writing team at Treyarch, they made Chaos a really, really well-written story. And I just want the story to be good. Anyway, continuing on with zombies. In terms of more zombies stuff. I'd just say another thing is make. Oh, here's a big thing. These are all more or less pet peeve things that I didn't like about Black Ops 4, and I want to say, don't do this in Black Ops 5 or whatever the hell it's gonna be called. Keep the point system as it was in Black Ops 3. Don't do Black Ops 4's point system. Just don't. Was so annoyed at Black Ops 4's point system that it got to the point where I was actually going to say this game is the worst zombies game. But then I'm like, I can't be that hard just on one thing that makes me very annoyed. But honestly, just that point system really, really, really was so annoying. Just make it be every single time you hit a zombie in the body, it's 10 points, yada yada, that whole spiel that it was in Black Ops 2, 1, hell, World at War, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, Infinite Warfare, Exo Zombies, World War II Zombies. Keep the point system the same. Don't do what Black Ops 4 is trying to do and make it harder. Yes, I want difficulty. I don't want it so that when I die, I'm screwed. Because that's the main problem with Black Ops 4's point system, is if you died, it's so hard to get points. Because obviously once you buy your perks, if you don't have all your perks at the time, and you go down, or if you get all your perks and you're out of ammo and you need to buy ammo, and you can't buy ammo because you're out of points, you die. And then you begin the cycle over again, and you just keep on, don't have enough points because your guns aren't killing, and yada yada yada. I understand, yeah, that gives a balance problem when it comes to points, because then you have a situation where you have a gun as weak as like the 9mm SOG on like round 30, on Pack-a-Punch it would cause so much. So little damage that it just gives you points constantly. Also, I hope that's like getting picked up by the mic. If it is, I don't want to say what it is, but it was something. Let me think, what else? Special zombies aren't really a problem for me, because I feel like anyone who complains about special zombies being too difficult or too annoying is just bad at the game anyway. And it's not necessarily that the map's bad, it's just that they're bad. I hate to say it, but it's kind of true. If you don't like special zombies in zombies, then go back to Kindred or Totem or something like that. Because guess what? If it's meant to add difficulty, as long as they're not too annoying, bring them in. As long as you aren't essentially George Romero, that's all I want. Don't ever bring back George Romero style zombie ever again, unless it's a boss fight. Well, as much as I like that map, that's the only bad thing about Call of the Dead. Easter egg related stuff, I guess I can kind of talk about, since I still have about another 10 minutes. I don't want to say I want to see a super Easter egg reward. Well, let me rephrase. I want to see a super Easter egg reward. I just don't want it to be not worth it. Like, give me... If I do all the Easter eggs, right? Give me something I could sort of flex on people that I've done it, but not something that's meaningless. So, for example, I'd say the best thing would be give me a universal weapon camo. Maybe it doesn't have to be animated or anything, but it can maybe just be a glow in the dark camo that just symbolizes the map, kind of thing. So, for example, let's just pull out a random map that already exists and do an example of that. Um, let's say I beat the Voyage of Despair Easter egg, right? I would then get a camo that's kind of like an icy, more of like an ice that has like the eye of Odin poking on it or something like that. Something that relates to the Easter egg that shows that I did it, but it's something that's worth it that you can still show off in other modes, but it's not minuscule as like a calling card. Obviously, if you maybe you can even have tiered rewards of it. If you do an Easter egg without dying, you get the camo or something like that. Or if you do an Easter egg without no downs, obviously I wouldn't want that because there's going to be some Easter eggs where people are going to go down. I don't want one down to signify everyone else's failure, but you know what I mean. Just like maybe if you do the Easter egg without getting hit, or not, actually I wouldn't even say that. That's even worse. Or like you know what I mean. Just give me something tier rewards if I do an Easter egg. Like if I do the Easter egg, and or like if I'm hell, or they could do what Destiny 2 does. Actually, this is a really good idea. Destiny 2, when they have their raids come out, there's the raid race, and they have a little thing called contest, and it kind of balances out the raids that people aren't going in with overlevel gear and stuff like that. It basically flattens their gear to a certain point, and then lets everyone else go in. Basically on equal playing field, so that way no one's essentially overleveled or anything like that. But for Black Ops 5, maybe they do something similar to where if you complete it within, I wouldn't say do it, but maybe if you're prestigious enough and you want to do it and they decide to do it, I don't think they would, but maybe if you complete the Easter egg within the first month of release or something like that, or maybe even first like maybe week, just to make it a little bit more fair, or something like that. Or maybe you're the first one to complete. Maybe your first completion you get something, and then every single time you beat it, you get more the more completions you get. Or even if you beat the Easter egg in the first week of the game or the first week of it being found, then you get something cool. Just something to reward you for doing the Easter egg that isn't just an achievement or a calling card. I mean, I don't mind a calling card. I'd run that as much as I want, but obviously if I find a better calling card, I'm going to switch it out. But not only that, make the calling card animated. If you're going to make an Easter egg calling card, make it animated. Don't make it a static one. What else is there that I can talk about for zombies? Because zombies is more my mode. That's why I want to talk more about that than multiplayer. I guess the only other thing would be, as long as I like the creative class system, don't make the starting pistol swappable. I guess if that makes sense. Like, don't let me choose my starting pistol. As dumb as that sounds, I really just like the idea of having one weapon starting off with. Maybe just give me the customization of like my perks and stuff like that, like I was going on earlier with like modifications and stuff like that. But if anything, if you're gonna make me able to customize my starting pistol, if you're gonna make me able to customize the starting weapon, just keep it to pistols and don't give. And maybe if you hit a prestige or something like that, or hit max prestige, you get unlock a shotgun or an SMG or something like that. Because I'm still torn because I was the kind of person who never ran the MOG or the SOG or the Essex or anything like that as a starting weapon. But I wouldn't want them to just be pistols. But on the same token, I don't want people to use a weapon. Because the whole reason why the MOG got nerfed initially in zombies was because people were overusing it. And people don't realize if they overuse something, it's going to get nerfed. And there's a whole argument, well, why don't you buff everything else up? Well, then if you buff everything else up, then it gets the game too easy. So why don't you just make it so everyone's forced to use one starting weapon and just customize it at will, or make it so that all of the starting weapons are the same stats but just a different skin, per se. For example, perfect example of this actually, would be, let's say let's say it's Black Ops 1, right? And your starting pistols are the M1911, the Makarov, and the ASP, I think it was called. Let's say those are your 3 starting weapon choices. You can customize those weapons to have extended mags, long barrel, whatever, or like whatever the hell you want to customize them with. But they all have the same damage value. The only difference is when they're pack punched, they become a different weapon. In terms of their base stats, right off out the gate, they're all the same. They just react differently, have different stats. They're not necessarily different stats, but essentially, if one person chooses an ASP and one person chooses an M1911, they aren't going to. The person with the M1911 isn't going to go farther than the person with the ASP unless they pack a punch it. That's essentially my whole idea. I don't want the starting pistol to matter for the long term unless you're pack a punching it and keeping it, kind of thing. That'd be my only thing. I just don't like seeing weapons that are meant to be high power killing weapons, like a shotgun, be a starting weapon, because that means your setup are way too long. Hence why the mod got nerfed. People were using it, and since it, not only that, it's not good for points either, because stiletto knife statistically gives you more points early on than a mod does. Simple as that. People are just ignorant of the fact that you need points to really survive in CoD, and your weapon doesn't mean anything. Because yeah, you could have a shotgun that lasts you so long, and you can pack punch it. But then for points, if you're playing solo, you're kind of screwed. That's why a stiletto knife is really, really good, and that's why I'm glad they never touched it. It's good because it gave you tons of points early on, especially if you got a Temporo with double points and you manage to pick up bonus points. You get so much money early on. That's sort of just my whole thing with it, is that I want the old point system back, but I don't want them to bring the old point system back and then have a SMG and a shotgun be a starting weapon. That's just more or less it. But with that, with this free-for-all game coming to a close, I'm going to end this video off here. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to leave a like. If you have any other things you'd like to see in Black Ops 4, or Black Ops 5, sorry, or something you want to add on to something I've said, be sure to leave a comment below, and I almost always try to read comments, and I always heart them to sort of show that I've read it. And if I heart a comment, I don't immediately reply. It's because I'm either in the middle of something or I legitimately just was half asleep, because that happened a few times. But anyway, if you guys enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, subscribe so you don't miss a single video from me, click the bell so you don't miss any of those videos and get those notifications. Those do work. There's some problems with it, but it does work for a fact. I know this. I've tested it many times. YouTubers say it doesn't, but it does. Sometimes unless you're demonetized, or unless you're monetized rather, than it almost always works. Follow me on social media down in the description below, especially Twitter and Twitch, so that way you can watch some gameplays live. Twitter so you can keep up with everything that I do. Instagram for memes and other little mini content that doesn't make into videos. And Mixer for more variety-based stuff, more, I guess, open lobby-esque stuff, and Minecraft and Overwatch for Mixer. Anyway, if you enjoyed, I really hope you did enjoy. And yeah, I know I've said this outro a lot. I've recorded like 4 or 5 videos today, or this is the 5th video today. I recorded an entire LP today, so I'm a little frazzled. So, yeah. I'll see you guys next video or live stream, whatever I make, and enjoy the last minute or so of this free-for-all game. And, yeah, I don't win any of these games. Winning's never been a thing I cared about. It's just I needed something for the background. Actually, now I think about it, I have no idea what place it's going to go into. I'm still recording this voice audio for whatever reason. Q stores open. Okay, I'm just gonna stop and not stare into the gameplay with silence now. Yeah. Okay.
The wolf remains one of his most feared enemies.